What's up, everyone? Welcome to the June 27th edition of DraftKings Tournament Plays presented by PrizePicks. I'm your host, Adam Scherer. You can follow me on Twitter at ShipMyMoneyDFS. As a reminder, use the code AWESEMO when you sign up and make a deposit at PrizePicks. You'll receive one free month of Stokastic Plus Platinum. You'll also receive a 100% deposit bonus up to $100 on your first deposit. We have a 9-game MLB slate tonight, and it's a really interesting one in tournaments because the Dodgers are playing in Coors Field. Their pricing is completely broken. They are top plays across the board at basically every position, but they're also going to pull a ridiculous amount of ownership. So it's going to be a really interesting slate in terms of balancing between getting to the very obvious best plays, but also trying to find some contrarian options. So this video is going to take a look at 3 of the top tournament stacks and 3 of the top tournament pitchers that are going a little bit under-owned in terms of ownership versus chances of being in the optimal lineup. You can use these guys to help balance out the ownership elsewhere where you're going to have more popular players on this slate. Starting with the top 3 tournament stacks. Number 3, Minnesota Twins are taking on Triston McKenzie tonight in Cleveland. McKenzie is a decent pitching prospect. He has good stuff. He has cut back his strikeout stuff a bit in exchange for a lower walk percentage. As a result, not missing as many bats. He is giving up power this year. He's allowed 1.7 home runs per 9 innings. The Twins' active roster has a 163 ISO, 114 WRC+. They're only projected for about 2% ownership with a 5% chance of being the top scoring stack. Number 2, the Colorado Rockies on the other side of that game in Coors, taking on Tyler Anderson. It is a difficult matchup. Anderson's a good pitcher. 3.86 xFIP so far this season for Anderson, but the Rockies are pulling about 6% aggregate ownership with a 7% chance of being the top scoring stack. By comparison, the Dodgers' aggregate ownership projection in this game right now is 29.9%. Yes, the Dodgers are a lot better than the Rockies. Yes, Tyler Anderson is a lot better than Chad Kuhl, who the Dodgers are facing, but you're getting basically a 5-to-1 ownership discount on the Rockies in the same great hitters park that the Dodgers are in. And number 1, the Toronto Blue Jays taking on what is expected to be Connor Seabold. Seabold has made 11 starts at AAA this year. He has had some success. He has a 24.8% strikeout percentage. 4.41 xFIP is a little higher than the Red Sox would probably like to see, but Toronto is just a high upside offense. They're projected for 8% ownership with an 8% chance of being the top scoring stack. Now, looking at the top 3 tournament pitchers, number 3, Kevin Gausman is $9,800 taking on the Boston Red Sox. Gausman has a 26.1% strikeout percentage, which is good for the 3rd highest on this slate. He also has a 2.87 xFIP. The matchup against the Red Sox is difficult, but he's projected for 16% ownership with a 20% chance of being a top two pitcher on tonight's slate. Number 2, Pablo Lopez in a difficult matchup taking on the St. Louis Cardinals. $9,100 price tag. He does have the 4th highest strikeout percentage on the slate at 25.1%. He has a 3.34 xFIP. He's projected for 7% ownership with a 15% chance of being a top 2 pitcher. And number 3, Triston McKenzie in that matchup against the Twins. I mentioned the Twins not getting much ownership in a high upside spot against McKenzie, but it goes the other way as well, as McKenzie has struck out 22.4% of hitters this year. He has a 4.45 xFIP. He's projected for about 10% ownership with a 15% chance of being a top 2 pitcher. So to recap, the top 3 tournament stacks: number 3, the Minnesota Twins; number 2, the Colorado Rockies; and number 1, the Toronto Blue Jays. And the top 3 tournament pitchers: number 3, Triston McKenzie; number 2, Pablo Lopez; and number 1, Kevin Gausman.